It's time for your Wellness Wednesday, and we are talking about something very important, mental health. Recently, the Surgeon General had a public health advisory saying the mental health challenges for children and teens are at what he called a crisis level. We have Dr. Trillian Small with me this morning from the University of Texas at Dallas. And, you know, there are a lot of reasons as to why we got here. We were here long before the pandemic, but now, as I just mentioned, crisis level. So what are some of the factors that are playing into this that you're seeing right now?
You're absolutely right. There are so many factors that are playing into what we're seeing currently. Students are not encountering the social interaction that they need, especially for the developmental age that they are in, where they need social interaction to understand emotional regulation and to also understand who I am as a person.
So when we're looking at how parents are supposed to know if their teen is feeling depressed or having some sort of anxiety, you know, sometimes you just chalk it up to being a teen or being a kid. But when do you think, okay, this is more?
Right. It gets to the point where is it now impacting their day-to-day life, right? Are they not wanting to go to school? Are they staying in bed more than usual, more than the 12 hours that maybe that they're staying in? Are they completely wanting to isolate from themselves? Are they saying that they're hopeless more times than not, right? Those are some signs that you may want to look into. Are they eating more? Are they eating less? Those are signs and symptoms that they may possibly be anxious and or depressed.
And something that we have seen now that, you know, you can't just fix it all instantaneously is that delayed gratification. You and I were talking during the break that this is something that we experienced as kids, but sort of shifted because of technology.
Absolutely. I really do wonder, is it simply we are seeing the development of a generation who simply does not understand resilience and grit and adaptability because in part due to technology, at a click of a button, they have everything accessible to them. So are we creating and seeing the development of a generation who simply has a brain that does not know how to survive?
And how do you recognize that? Because I think a lot of times you think, oh, you want to blame the parent. But
yes.
in actuality, when we've got technology and the way things work, that's something very different.
Right. There's so many things that we can point a finger at, but ultimately the question is when you see them throwing a fit, right, they do not know how to regulate their emotions. They don't have the coping skills. Is it their responsibility to learn them? Yes. Is it the parent's responsibility to teach them by not coddling and not taking off pressure too soon? Yes. So there are so many factors that play into why our generation currently, Gen Z, do not know how to regulate their emotions and really sustain in a time such as this when it's go time, right? It's time to be resilient and show some grit.
Absolutely. So what are you telling parents right now who do come to you and maybe perhaps have some concerns? How do you see this moving forward?
There's two parts, right? You have to have both support and challenge, right? If it's tilted a little bit, you're going to see an imbalance, right? So many times now, I see parents are giving a little bit too much support, albeit rightfully so. But if you take off the pressure too soon, if you metaphorically speaking cut the butterfly out of the cocoon a little too soon, it's going to die, right? And so what we're seeing now is a generation that needs to get a little bit of pressure under their belts to strengthen that muscle, right? But also provide them with the support that they need. Maybe it's through counseling, maybe it's through having the open conversation with them of how are you feeling, how are things going for you as well.
Wow, really insightful, great information. Thank you so much. I know you're seeing this every day, you were telling me, so you get it on the front lines there. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so let's go back.